you can't be either Neo or Agent Smith. Not only do you need your ammo, but that ammo is kind of pointless if you don't have the proper tools to use it with. So right now would actually be an excellent time to go to your local gun shops or your local Rule King. Head to that gun barn and start investing in some firearms and plenty of bullets. Right here is my Smith & Wesson M&P 15 Sport 2. Yeah, that sight's right on the money. So, tell you what, truthers, and my fellow Americans.
Go tell that long-time liar. Go and tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler again with a backbite. Tell them the God. Tell them the God. Cut them down. Goodness gracious, let me tell you the news. My head's been wet with the midnight dew. I've been down on a bended knee, talking to the man from Galilee. He spoke to me in a voice so sweet, I thought I heard the angels. He called my name, my heart stood still. John, do my will. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. You may throw your rock and hide your hand, working in the dark against a fellow man. But as sure as God made black or white, what's down in the dark will be brought to the light. You can run on for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Tell him the God's gonna cut you down.
Welcome, everybody, to the Truther Odyssey, where we seek the truth in a world full of disinformation and indoctrination. I am your host, as always, the truth talker, Jacob Akers. We have a doozy today. I'm really excited for this live stream because in less than 30 minutes, 25 minutes almost, we should be having a guest coming in and joining us today on the Truther Odyssey, Courtney Turner. I thought it was supposed to be yesterday, but I was wrong. I did schedule it for the 18th. So we're going to have her on today, and we're going to talk about AI.gov, You guys remember the live stream we did the other day showing her discussion with Owen Stroyer, and it was that live stream. I said, "Man, I'd like to get her on here and exchange notes." So she should be joining us around 4:30. Till then, we're just gonna shoot the shit and talk about some of the other things going on, such as uh, supposedly Trump has ordered Pam Bondi as of last night to let me let me I shared it on locals. So let me get that pulled up real quickly. I'll show the thing he posted, which most of you by now have seen it. To examine it together, give you my thoughts. One of the things I'm doing now as well, guys, is I am uh, putting out blogs, written commentary on things on locals as well. And as of right now, I have it. It's just joined the Truth or Odyssey group on locals, and you can see all those blogs for yourself. I got some stuff. A blog I wrote about Kushner. There should have been. I thought I had an image attached to that. I know I shared it on Facebook, so I want to read that post he put out on True Social. So let me see if I can find that real quick so I can read it. This thing I'm really looking forward to about having a guest on. I don't have to read a lot of stuff, so here in a bit, these my reading glasses are going to be coming off. Boo 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 boo. Yeah, this is what he posted on True Social last night. Based on the ridiculous amounts of publicity given to Jeffrey Epstein, I have asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to produce any and all permanent grand jury testimony subject to court approval. This scam, perpetuated by the Democrats, should end right now. And a lot of people, fellow conservative content creators, seem to skip over that phrase, subject to court approval. So the courts have to decide to unseal the Epstein records. FYI, are federal courts, are they even part of the Department of Justice? Aren't they actually part of the judicial branch? Which that's one of the things that I always thought was weird was that presidents pick who's in the Supreme Court. Like we don't get to elect who who's in the Supreme Court. I find that I, most other judges are elected officials. Like your county judge, you elected your county judge. At least that's how it is here in Morgan County. So, and last night, which you're all probably aware about this, and anybody with common sense could call the BS meter was going off. Wow, wow, wow. Uh, BS meter being like a Geiger counter when there's bullshit in there. Wah, 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 wah. And I'm thinking about the alleged letter, allegedly, that the Wall Street Journal says that Donald Trump wrote for Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday. Even I'm like, yeah, this is sus. Not on Trump, but the story they put out. Matter of fact, I wrote a blog on locals about it, the birthday hoax, how media distraction buries real crimes. I'm calling BS on the Wall Street Journal's latest hit piece about Trump and Epstein. They're claiming Trump wrote a birthday letter to Epstein in 2003 featuring a drawing of a naked woman with the name Donald signed as her pubic hair. But here's the thing, they don't show the actual letter, no image, no forensic proof, just typed excerpts and anonymous sources. That's not journalism, that's narrative warfare. The letter was allegedly part of a birthday album compiled by Ghislaine Maxwell for Epstein's 50th birthday. A leather-bound book filled with messages, poems, and illustrations from Epstein's inner circle, according to the journal. Trump's letter included a typewritten note framed by a hand-drawn nude sketch, but again, no image, no authentication, and no clarity on who actually wrote or drew it. Let's be real, Donald is a common name. The squiggly signature could belong to anyone. And the fact that they won't release the actual document makes the entire story feel engineered. Even Trump's own vice president, J.D. Vance, called the Wall Street Journal story complete and utter bullshit. And I agree. If it's real, show the letter. Otherwise, it's just another distraction. I've been skeptical of Trump ever since Operation Warp Speed, and I don't believe there's a Trump Epstein connection, but not the way. Or, I misread that. And I do believe there's a Trump Epstein connection, but not the way they're spending it. Whitney Webb's reporting points to financial crimes, intelligence ties, and institutional protection. That's the real story, not some cartoonish sex scandal designed to bury the deeper truth. This is how they operate. Drop a salacious claim, let it spread, bury the actual architecture of elite immunity beneath the noise. I'm not here for the static, I'm here to defend the signal. I am not a propaganda agent for the Republicans or Democrats. I am a disciple of the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Truth Odyssey doesn't chase headlines, we decode them, seeking truth in a world full of disinformation and indoctrination. So, that is my thoughts on the Wall Street Journal hit piece, which is a load of trash. Have they actually produced an image of that yet? Have they actually shown the sketch, this nude sketch of a woman with? And when you read the story, it's not signed Donald Trump. It is signed Donald. So the whole story just seems iffy to me. I don't buy it. So there is. I read you guys my thoughts on that situation. I think, which is weird because doesn't Bezos, Jeff Bezos, own the Wall Street Journal? And didn't Bezos try to start becoming buddy buddy with Trump after he won the election? So he was at the inauguration. I don't know. I don't know if you guys, we've probably all heard about this by now. Uh, Something involving the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. I don't know all the details on it. We'll probably try to get into it uh, after our time with Courtney Turner, if I feel up to it after our discussion. I don't know how long I have her for, but we'll probably try to dig into that to see what's going on. It's going to be like, is it the people who, the liberals out there who've been protesting ICE? Are they starting to? Because was it this time last week? Somebody was shooting at ICE, and because I'm under the impression, if I recall that story today, that there was an explosion at this Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department uh, training facility. I don't know all the details to it. I know 3 people have died, so thoughts and prayers to their families. I might try to pull some stuff up while we're waiting for Courtney to join the live stream. Uh, let's Ooh. Oh, no, kid. So, according to Fox News, FBI investigating explosion that killed 3 deputies at LA County Sheriff's Department facility. That's interesting. Should we save this for after we get done with our interview with Courtney Turner? It is interesting. So the FBI is involved now. And before I came on today, guys, I was catching James O'Keefe on Infowars, and boy, he's not happy with the whole Epstein cover stuff going on, hoping for the truth to come out. He thinks the administration is going to do the right thing, and I'm more like, only time will tell. Only time will tell. So I'm not going to hold my breath on it. If it happens, it happens. That's a great thing. But he did state that in the audio he had from the FBI whistleblower, we might get into that after the interview as well, that this is current FBI, right? This audio. That it is a shit show and that the FBI and DOJ are not being transparent with the American people when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein. I am. Also, they passed the Genius Bill today. As any of you who have consumed the Truth or Odyssey content throughout our time, particularly here on Rumble, that I'm not a big fan of artificial intelligence and cryptocurrencies. So let's just say that let's fix it. That's a little bit better. That I'm not so enthused about the Genius Bill. I think it is a wolf in sheep's clothing for centralized banking digital currency. That's the sad thing today. Alex Jones was talking about it, and he thinks it's a good thing. I don't think Alex. I guess there's people out there who think he's been cloned. I don't think he's been cloned. I think he sold his soul. And he weaponizes Christianity to manipulate emotions Oh, and Schroyer's still on point, though. That dude knocking it out of the park. Not pulling punches. He's rolling up his sleeves and calling out the BS. So, shame on you, Alex Jones. And bravo to you, Owen Schroyer. Don't back down. Don't bend the knee, brother. If you bend your knee, bend it to Christ alone. For in Christ alone, my hope is found. I had one of these the other day. This Black Rifle Energy. I still don't know how I feel about it. It's strange. It is a strange sensation. It's like it's a carbonated fruit flavored cold coffee. And I don't know if I like it yet or not. What I do know is, woo, it, it'll give you energy, all right. It does do that. Take another swig of it. All right. Funny story for you. As y'all know, I mentioned it here quite a bit here recently. There's something I want to talk about here in the near future. Uh, so, used to be employed with the Indiana Department of Corrections, right? There's this guy hitting all the circuits, this former CIA guy, whistleblower, talking about Jeffrey Epstein on all these different podcasts. It'd probably be wise for him not to come on this one because there was some things. I don't know when he was in prison or with what state, but he said some stuff where I'm like, nah. There's some things he did say about, corrections that is accurate, and some maybe with the times things had changed. But he said some stuff like, I agree with that, but that's BS right there. So, I can't remember the dude's name, but we might get into it. I might do another Sunday special. I don't know. Not for sure. But here's my DOC story while we're waiting for Courtney to show up. And it has to do with Black Rifle Coffee. So the population, the offenders, the incarcerated, and depending on your doctor, the incarcerated individuals, that's how we're trained to call them now, they have this belief. I can't believe. Should I tell the story? It's not. This isn't classified shit. This is. So I was a corrections officer, and then my little brother at another facility at a different time. He was in prison before and got out before I ever worked for the DOC. They have this suspicion that there is a store in the facilities for staff, for the COs, and we get a hookup on the Black Rifle coffee, which is not true. There is no special store for corrections officers. If we want Black Rifle coffee, we either have to go online, or I get it from Rule King. Rule King has it, so when I would buy it, because that was the coffee I drank at work, because it was in a bag. And so bag coffee was kind of more convenient in my officer's cage. And so, when I'm home, I put my stuff away, and my little brother and his friends would come over, and they would see my bag coffee, and every once in a while I would make that coffee for me and my dad. Like, hey, Dad, you want to taste some good shit? You want the good coffee? And next you know, I'm hearing them talk about, oh, he must have got that from the CO store at the farm. Because that's the nickname of the facility I was at. It's the farm, because it actually used to be, even as a prison, it was a functional farm. The population did agriculture for their punishment. I think they should kind of go back to that. But now they have, schooling and whatnot. I was just contacted by Courtney. She is running a few minutes behind. So, which I kind of gathered that, but that's fine. But she has made contact. So, oh, heads up, guys. Here's a little update. Yesterday's live stream. I mentioned to you guys that I got a hold of Rumble tech support, and they have emailed me back and all the email was a question. Let me go to my emails. She's wrapping up in another show, is what she just told me. But they asked, get to it. I don't know if it's still in my inbox or if I moved it to my archives yet. Where you at? Yeah, I may have sent that to my archives. I don't see it in the. Ah. Oh, there it is. Okay, I found it. Yeah. So they asked, hey there, what's the OS browser and browser version that you were using Studio on? So no, my laptops. I just told them, hey, I'm using this because I'm not quite tech savvy. I should probably. not as quite tech savvy as other people, so I'm not quite sure what they mean by OS. Heck, and if you guys do, maybe you can educate me on something. I should probably look into that. Oh, let me look into that real quick because I'm not sure what that means. Boo, 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 boo. Of course it does. Come on. Poosh. Yeah, I gotta re-highlight all of that. Wrong area. Well, that's weird. Huh. Let me try it on this. Dirk, 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 dirk. Dirk, dirk. Okay. Operational systems. Now I get it. Got it. Got it. Oh, here we go. Wait. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Doing well. It's half day. I have 3 today.
Busy day then,
Yes.
especially with what got passed today. It's not surprising you were busy.
Oh, I don't know what got passed. I've been busy.
Uh, Trump signed off on the Genius Bill today.
You signed it off today.
Yep.
Wow. All right.
Good news.
Oh, boy. Hmm.
So, how long have you been looking into this? The whole AI technocracy.
That's a good question. I mean, I guess when I started my podcast, like I had said that the whole goal was transhumanism. So I guess when I started, that's when I started looking into that. That would be right, like 2021.
That's interesting timing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because so I've been, was it years ago when Elon Musk was originally warning people about AI,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden his tune, his attitude for it changed. I'm like, I should probably start doing some homework here. So
Mm-hmm.
anytime I hear about a new chatbot, I'm like, let's see how self aware this thing really is.
You're right.
Right? Like, how close are we? And so the more I dug into it, I'm like, man, this stuff's getting creepy. It's borderline occult like.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling a guy, a friend of mine, who's actually an engineer, I'm like, man, these chat GTP is making me think of a digital Ouija board. You don't know what you're talking to.
Right. Right.
Like, you don't know who's typing to you right now.
Yes.
This is this is the first time we've done Rumble Live.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're set up a little differently. I'm wondering if I can collapse this chat thing on the side.
I can probably.
No, it's okay. I just want to be able to get the thing squared in her teleprompter. Uh, Interesting. I guess we
Are
should.
you talking about the.
Yeah, I guess we should play around with this Rumble Live.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
are you live right now?
it's a. I've been live for like 30 minutes covering some other stuff to kill
Okay.
time, so. Yeah, I let people know, hey, we'll have somebody coming on at 4:30. So
Okay. All right.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. I started when I first started live streaming. It was through. I originally it was just me using my cell phone
Mm-hmm.
and just recording my screen because I didn't know what I was doing. And then somebody introduced me to StreamYard,
Mm-hmm.
and so originally I was using StreamYard to do multiple platforms until most of them kicked me off.
Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah.
You talk about ivermectin and you get in serious trouble.
Yes. This is true. That's true. So.
So yeah, so it was 2020. It was the lockdowns, and
Mm-hmm.
so everybody's at home. So I got nothing better to do to go online and start reading some stuff.
Oh,
And
that's.
I came.
Mhm.
I came across the bill called HR 6395,
Mm-hmm.
and it's written by William Mack Thornberry, Republican out of Texas. And there was two things in it. I'm like, oh, this is bad. And in the original draft, it said the acronym PAINT, which stood for Pragmatic Artificial Intelligence and New Technologies, and it was promoting to use AI as a missile defense system. I'm like, uh, isn't that what Skynet was in the Terminator movies?
Yeah, right.
And then the further you get into the bill, they start talking about how to mitigate viral pandemics
Mm-hmm. Right.
through through surveillance and detection.
Yeah.
I'm like, hold the phone. How do you reduce a virus through surveillance?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Uh, and as soon as I read that, I'm like, I gotta start recording this on the internet, and I gotta put this thing on blast. And then I kept keep an eye on it on that particular bill. I'm like, dude, this is some Orwellian 1984 stuff. And then it gets to December, Trump vetoes it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I go live talking about like, hey guys, Trump vetoed it. Kudos to him on that. I go, but I got a bad feeling this is going to get reintroduced to the incoming administration, and it's going to get passed. And the new version of it removed the acronym PAINT,
Mm-hmm.
and it took me forever to find the whole surveillance on the surveillance of viral pandemics is still in it, and it took me forever to find it. I'm like, these sons of bitches, they changed the wording,
Uh,
but I found it, and so there's a video here on my Rumble channel where it shows the original version and the new version, and I just did an update after I watched your interview with Owen Schroyer. I'm like, hey guys,
mm-hmm.
let's hear what she's saying. Let me show you some stuff that I was exposing, and it's pretty much lining up to an AI surveillance state like in China.
Mm-hmm.
Because can't remember the name of the woman who did the interview with Tim Dillon from CNN. She used to work for Vice, and she went over there and showed what the Chinese social credit score was like. Like if you jaywalk, the camera system, which is powered by AI, it captures your face and puts your whole ID up on a big screen,
Mm-hmm.
and your credit score just went down because you jaywalked. And
Mm-hmm.
the name of the AI that powers their social credit system is called Skynet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, so is there any updates on AI.gov? Has anything came out since?
No, I think the leak has affected their what they were going to do because it was supposed to launch. It was supposed to go to AI.gov on the 4th.
On the
And
4th, yeah,
yeah, now it still redirects to the White
the
House.
White House, which
Yeah.
is, when you think about it, is still pretty creepy.
Well, it's very creepy, but it
Like,
started back in 2019. You can go to the way back and find it. It started in 2019 under Trump, and then it was advanced under Biden. And under Biden, it became whitehouse.gov /AI. So they had that up for a while. So they had an actual section on, the whitehouse.gov, but specifically about AI. And then now they were going to launch it, and then there was that leak that I had talked about, and now it's still redirecting. So I don't know what they're going to do with that, how they're going to move forward. I haven't found any new information anywhere. So yeah, but they're already talking about Grok government. ChatGPT has a portal for government. You have to be a government official to use it.
yeah, yeah,
Almost every state has a digital governance summit currently. Um,
yes. I think I saw you share something on Twitter about that like a week or so ago.
yep, not every state, but almost every state has this digital governance summit.
So they're already, and of course we've got these, all of these tech bros who've been sworn into the military. So there's a lot moving forward in this regard, but I don't know with the AI.gov, it's still redirecting to lighthouse.gov.
Well, I know it was a couple days after I watched your interview with Owen Schroyer, and I used to be, as last year I was a corrections officer for the Indiana Department of Corrections,
Mm-hmm.
and so and just days after I watched your interview, I went to in.gov, and the whole website has been changed with Mike Braun in office, and it's powered has an AI chat feature to help direct you through the Indiana in.gov website. I'm like, oh wow, they didn't wait for this. And I know it's in the lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
Now I read that bill, and then I live in a little podunk town in Indiana, small town.
Right.
And then why everybody was locked down, like, oh, our traffic lights now have cameras on them. Why are cameras going up everywhere? Why everybody's trapped in their homes? And I'm the only person that seems concerned about this. Oh, what's the problem? I'm like, you don't see the problem? They see the problem. That's why they're putting it up there. It is the problem.
It's definitely the problem. Yes, this is a huge problem. This Genius Act going through is not good. The Stable Act, the Clarity Act, and yeah, he's really paving the way for the tokenization.
Yeah, because I was looking in because I kept hearing the word transhumanism, and in my mind, and what my understanding was, was pretty much trying to clone human identities into artificial intelligence and find out it's actually worse than that. That it's actually just a rebranding of eugenics.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's definitely eugenics, but it encompasses a wide scope. I mean, transhumanism
Yeah.
is not a monolith, and it's not like it's not one thing. I don't know if you read my article on the Phoenix conspiracy. But I go into some philosophies like Nick Land, and he talks about technoplastic beings, which is the idea of synthetic biology, which is very much underway. I mean, and all of these guys, oracles, Larry Ellison, and obviously Musk. Musk is a proponent. He's a neonatal. He's a natalist, pro-natalist. Sorry, but he's talking about essentially genetic selection. So he talks about how he's in favor of using like basically petri dish procreation, where we select for the best genes possible, and that's how he has
Hmm.
children, right? And that's what he's been doing. This is basically
Right.
called positive eugenics, but it is these laying the groundwork for this transhuman agenda, where they've already got ecto-life pods. So right now you can use the embryos, and then you can do surrogacy, but they're talking about making it so they could create the whole thing without needing humans, really. You would do it through ecto-life pods. um, Obviously you would need humans to extract the eggs and the sperm, but beyond that, they're really moving in the direction of merging man with machine. That's what transhumanism is. It's
Yeah.
merging man with machine, but it doesn't have to just be AI intelligence. I mean, it's not just like putting a chip in or putting like a robot brain. Um, they're doing synthetic biology, like
Mm-hmm.
all over the world currently. The Internet of Nanobio things is a huge field, and I would argue that that's a transhumanism. That's not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not necessarily like replacing our brains with an AI chip, but they're putting in nanobots where we have some sort of like remote control interface. To me, that's a step towards transhumanism. It's laying the groundwork. My
Well,
biggest
what?
concern is that once that goes into a infrastructure for tokenization, that's a way that they can program us that's really just unfathomable. Really, really scary.
Yeah, because which I mentioned this in our messages on X, that the book I wrote, the sci-fi faith based book, And I wanted to come up with something like, man, I want to come up with a science fiction thing that is so far fetched that it's beyond the grasp of becoming a reality, which uh, is for AI to really accelerate the way they talk. It needs human brain tissue
Mm-hmm.
to accelerate. Right? I'm like, this is so sci-fi. We'll never see this happen. And then a week after I finished getting it published,
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the internet and find an article from John Hopkins about what's called organoid intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
which they're taking cloned human brain tissue, which how that's legal, I don't know. I thought cloning was illegal, but they got cloned brain tissue and connected to artificial intelligence, and just that little bit of brain tissue with AI together can beat regular AI at Pong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm like, there's no way. This is already real.
Yeah. Yeah. It is already real. A lot of what they're doing is pretty advanced.
Yeah, because like
They have
what?
synthetic biology conferences every year.
Really?
Yeah. You can look it up on YouTube. They have videos of their conferences.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, mad scientists are going to try to ruin everything. Like Peter Thiel, if he would shave his head, would be Lex Luthor if I ever saw one. Which I'm not. So I'm more aware about Elon Musk. Just recently did I start really hearing the name Peter Thiel and didn't realize that they were kind of partners on PayPal. Like that's
Yeah, PayPal Mafia, right?
yep. So I did not know that about Peter Thiel. And what really shined a light on him with me recently, never really had heard the name before, but was supposedly the interview where he's talking about the Antichrist, and I'm like, I better take a look at this because I like looking into being a Christian myself. I like studying theology and exposing cults at the same time. Like, there's some red flags here with these teachings. so
Yeah.
so if there's a big tech guy who's supposedly right wing and is talking about the Antichrist, I'm like, but isn't because I knew what Palantir was. I knew about Palantir without knowing who Peter Thiel was, and then when just the name of your company is really off because it's the all-seeing orbs from Lord of the Rings, from Tolkien's writings.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, he named his company Valar, right? Also,
Yep.
the company he has with Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein put in
Really?
Yeah, Epstein put 40 million into it, and now I think it's worth 170 million. Yeah.
Was I was digging the past couple of days when I was asking you if you knew anything about Jared Kushner, looking into the technocratic stuff. And the more I started digging, the weirder it got. Because, he's helped out with the whole Abraham Accords, getting the peace deals between Israel and all these Muslim nations. And supposedly Israel, Trump are eyeballing Gaza to turn it into beachfront property.
Turn it into what?
Beachfront property?
Oh, beachfront property, you said.
Yeah. Kind of like in the first Superman movie when Lex Luthor wants to drop a bomb on the Andreas fault line and get rid of California and turn Arizona into beachfront property that he owns all of. I'm like, but the more I started looking into it, so his family, I gotta get it pulled up here, has Kushner's family's big in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, in 2018, J.P. Morgan Chase loaned 600 million to a development group that includes Kushner's companies for a luxury tower in Brooklyn. That deal came just 6 months after Kushner met with J.P. Morgan executives in his official White House role. Uh, this was a one-off. Citigroup gave Kushner 325 million after a similar meeting. Apollo Global Management threw in 184 million for a Chicago skyscraper refinance. I mean, so you got J.P. Morgan, who was it a couple years ago had to pay the Epstein victims,
Mm-hmm.
and so, and not only was it J.P. Morgan, George Soros chipped in on it.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Thiel's chipped in on it. Uh, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia is investing in it. I'm like, this sounds like some global stuff. China, through Alibaba, which is their ripoff of Amazon, is invested in it. I'm like, and anybody knows anything about Chinese businesses, the state owns 10% of every business out of China.
Yes.
And so I'm like, I wasn't today when Trump signed the Genius Act. He even said China's really happy about this. I'm like, oh, I bet they are. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah. Yeah. It's,
It, part of me has it where I'm thinking, was the 2020 election stolen, or was it scripted for him to lose? Like, I don't want to get in trouble for signing all this stuff, so let's have Dumbo over here go in office and sign off on all this
mhm.
surveillance state. And then I come back in power. I'm the hero. I'm the good guy. But I just joined the NWO and become a bad guy.
I think these conversations are kind of pointless. Ultimately, like, because you can speculate all day long.
Right, right,
So, I mean, I'm not privy to what actually happened behind the scenes, but it does look like there was a lot of fraud. I mean, that I think there's pretty just blatant evidence for that.
right.
But what I
Which
would
that's fine, yeah.
Yeah, but what I will say is that the plan, the technocracy plan, is a long range plan that's been in motion for over a century. So that's something that people need to understand. They're going to march that forward regardless of who's in office.
Exactly.
The president is not a dictator. That's the goal of the technocrats, is to make him one.
Right,
But
right,
he's currently not. He's not a king. He's not even a CEO, as Curtis Yarvin would like him to be. He's
right,
literally the head of the executive branch, and if it's wartime, then he's the commander in chief. But he is not the all powerful, can make all sorts of decisions alone. That's not what the president is. So I think a lot of people, there's people on both sides. The people who are think that he's the divine anointed one, that he's our savior, and just the white hats have it, and just trust him. I think that's a little silly. And I think the people on the other
yeah,
side who think he's like the demon, and he's the antichrist,
yeah.
and he's responsible for all of our problems. I think that both sides are giving him way too much power. I don't think
Agreed, agreed.
power, but I think they are using him. And right now, he's in the thrust of the technocrats. And I think the technocrats are really using him as a vehicle to advance their agenda. And I honestly think they'd love nothing more than to get their real puppet in, which is JD Vance. Vance has been groomed for really his whole entire career to be their technocratic puppet. I
Yeah,
think, I had predicted before Trump even got elected that they would potentially assassinate him to try and get Vance in. I think now it looks like they might try and impeach him. I think that I don't know, I can only speculate, right? But I know
Right.
a lot of talk about this, the Epstein files, and I think they might use it as leverage to start spurring some sort of, uh,
I was wondering the same thing late last week. Matter of fact, it wasn't too long after I saw your video. I'm like, hey, there is Vance is really buddy buddy with a lot of these big tech bros,
yeah.
and I'm like, what's the chances they take Trump out? And however, I mean, they can try to do it anyway. Now they're with his whole health thing that they're trying to drag up now.
Right, right.
The
Um,
thing they were stalling on with Biden, who is now that he wasn't running the country, period,
hmm
and now his own doctor is pleading the fifth in front of Congress about was he fit for the job. And so what they were unwilling to do with Biden, they'll probably try to do now.
hmm It's entirely possible. I don't know. I don't have the crystal ball, but I do.
Right. We're not Palantir.
Right, exactly. But I do think they'll do whatever they can. If they can get their puppet in, I think Vance is really their guy, and I think they would love to see him. If they don't do it this time around, I think there's already been lots of talk about him for 2028, and I think if they don't get Trump out now, then I think that's definitely the plan. So
Yeah, because it was before I went live, I saw something on Twitter where they're pretty much saying that that Vance has already got the 28 election in the books. They
mhm.
think he's already won it. I'm like, it's pretty far out for you guys to feel so confident about the results of that election. We're thinking, oh man, the midterms in 2026 might turn. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah.
We'll
Yep.
find out when we get there.
Yep. Exactly.
All I know is AI is getting stronger. They're putting out a digital currency, and they're watching everything we're doing. So,
Yeah.
and they're telling us to stop talking about stuff. That's when I really get curious when I'm not allowed to talk about something.
Mm-hmm. Yes, for sure. Sometimes they do that just for as part of a psychological operation. So it's not really the thing they don't want you to talk about, but they want to keep you, spiraling. So.
Right? Yeah. And see, that's the thing. The vibe I get from the American political system is I'm like, is this pro wrestling? Because pro wrestling's mission is to manipulate your emotions, and which that's what a psychological operation is your emotions. It's your mind. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I watch American politics, I'm like, man, this is better than WWE right now. I want to see this debate go in the steel cage with chairs and everything involved. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, and so that's why I tell people, I'm like, hey, let's be rash and let's not let this whip up our emotions. Let's see how it plays out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But AI, it knows your emotions with the algorithm. It knows what to feed your emotions.
Yeah, I wrote an article called "The Algorithmic Oracle." It's a pretty lengthy article. A lot of people have asked me to compile it into something that they can get a physical copy. So I am in the process of transferring that into a publishable format. I've now realized it's already 120 pages. I will be adding to it for those who want to. So it is, I guess, a book. I understand why people said they'd like to print it out. I didn't realize it was quite that long, but it's on that topic. I talk about how sensitivity training, which was born out of Kurt Lewin, with the National Training Lab and Office of Naval Research. His research came out of Tavistock. It was really based on Wilfred Byron's work on leaderless groups, and how that morphed into the Delphi method. And the Delphi method was a much more mechanistic, systematic version of the sensitivity training. And it was, they claimed that the purpose of it was to forecast technological outcomes in wartime. And so they created this method it's a Rand Corporation created this method called the Delphi method. And what I argue in this now book, is that essentially we have a compilation of those methods which have already been synthesized through a lot of in-person events, like political meetings and uh, various like boards. They use this to manufacture consensus. And I argue that now, with the advent of cybernetic algorithms, that essentially they're using a hybrid of Delphi method and sensitivity training, which is brainwashing of the CIA's own admission. You can check their 1970
Mm-hmm.
document. They say the sensitivity training is brainwashing. And actually, the National Training Lab's manual, they say it's brainwashing as well. So they use these techniques, and now with cybernetic algorithms, they're able to take those techniques, and with all the data mining that they do, they're able to target people and create what looks like consensus, but really it's manufactured. And so we a lot of times we're feeling like we have an idea, and we don't realize how much we've been manipulated through these cybernetic algorithmic feedback loops, particularly with social media.
Right. Yeah, because was it man, what was I just thinking? Was it the algorithms, the machine learning, uh, the technology? I can't remember if it was Palantir or a different company, where they were going to give it to law enforcement,
Mm-hmm.
where it was going to predict you breaking this crime before you ever break the crime, so we can prevent you from breaking the crime. We're going to lock you up before a crime has even been committed.
Mm-hmm. Pre-crime, right?
Yeah, which is pretty,
They're doing
pretty
that already in the UK.
really.
Yeah. So like people can be jailed for things that they've said on like Facebook and various social media, and it's as evidence for like a pre-act, like basically essentially thought crime. Like use
Yeah.
evidence that you're going to commit some sort of a crime, but they also do it with you know hate speech and that sort of thing as well. But yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's terrible. Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't if we don't push back, that's going to be us here. So
Yeah, because was it Operation Lockstep from the Rockefeller Foundation?
it was
Was
the document that was page 16 to 26 of the scenarios from Technological Future. It was Rockefeller, Bill and Melinda Gates, and Johns Hopkins Foundation.
Yep.
It had 4 different scenarios in it, but a lot of people reference Operation Lockstep, which, as I said, was page 16 to 26, because they felt like that was kind of foreshadowing what happened 5 years ago now. But really, if you read the document, it was more of a hybrid of the 4 war game scenarios. And
Yep.
that's typically what they do. And they usually do model it in quadrants. I always say the futurists love their quadrants. And I don't really know particularly why, but I know that Jung had a theory on quaternity. And the fourth, it was it was an extension of the Trinity. And the fourth head was the Godhead of Satan. I don't know.
Wow. Yeah, because I know, was it, if you go to the Rockefeller Foundation website
Mhm.
and look, which they told us is a conspiracy theory, but it's on their website, and they tell you in that report that they came up to this conclusion through artificial intelligence and bioengineering.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, and then BlackRock has an AI system that they've had since the late 90s, from what I read, called Aladdin. And according to the article reporting on it, that BlackRock uses that, and Aladdin pretty much runs the global economy.
Mhm.
I was like, wait. So the elites have been using this longer than what we thought?
Yeah, they
Because
have.
I learned a couple years ago that machine learning's been around since we came up with computers, when they were just took up walls, and they was always able to learn to read and write and try to communicate. It was always communicating. So it's just only gotten more advanced throughout the years, but AI has always been since there's been computers,
Mm-hmm.
which I never thought that. I'm like, oh
Mm-hmm.
no, that's too primitive. But no, there was almost a form of consciousness from the beginning.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that there is any sentience with AI. I don't believe they have any consciousness.
Agree. It's the illusion of
Or that, and I think the illusion of it is very powerful. I think that that would have
agreed,
very similar
agreed.
applications, but I don't think they actually have achieved sentience. Even though that there are people who want us to believe that, and I don't think it ever will. To be honest.
Now the synthetic stuff you were talking about earlier, is that kind of similar to like the designs they're doing for like over at Hanson Robotics, the company that made Sophia,
Hmm.
the female robot that has more rights than women in Saudi Arabia.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. That's an example. I mean, there's synthetic biology all over. They're doing all sorts of things all over the world. Um, but yeah, that would be an example.
Yeah,
It's
because
any kind of like a merger where they're taking organic material and merging with machine. And they're
okay, so kind of like the organoid intelligence that John Hopkins was
Yep,
doing.
yep,
So pretty much RoboCop.
yeah, yeah. So it's really just modifying biological systems. So any
Right.
kind of modification to something that is a biological entity.
So in essence, in all reality, it's all developing cyborgs, and to some degree.
Yep, exactly. That's synthetic biology. Yeah. I wish I could find the you can do a really easy search. I just don't want to do it because it'll make noise. I don't want to interrupt. But they're the synthetic biology conferences. You can find them on YouTube. Let's see if I can find the name of it. And they're pretty extensive. They've been going on for a long time. Uh, um, yeah, I think 1, 2, 3. Hmm. Synbio beta. Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Uh, can you send me a link to it
I
in the Twitter messages
I
and
can,
see if I
yeah,
can
I'm
pull this up?
looking for the channel so you can find like all of them. Let me see if I can find it. Synthetic biology. Um, there are a bunch of different ones also, not just the one I was thinking of. But yeah, here, okay, Synbio. Synbio.
And that's SYN.
Yes,
All right.
this one is
Wow.
the Synthetic Biology and Biotechnology Conference also. And this one's the one that came up is 2021, but they've so many of these. There's the NIH Synthetic Biology Consortium. I'm not finding the one that I was thinking of though. But yeah, that just goes to show how many there are. This is not like a
Right.
fringe
Hey,
thing.
you just type in synbio and it's talking about symbiotic supplements. I'm like, what is going on here?
Yep, exactly.
Just by typing in synbio, all the things that pop up.
Yeah. There's so many of these. I did do a episode on synthetic biology, and I went through a bunch of. I had a bunch of videos in there and a bunch of. Uh, yeah, I talked about these conferences, so I don't know, but I'm not finding it right now. So
See, I found Syn Bio Beta 2025 recap.
you know, I see that one too. Future of Synthetic Biology Conference 2023. And this is Harvard. Synthetic Biology Now and the Future from 8 years ago.
Yeah, the role of synthetic biology in promoting health.
And the NIH has their synthetic biology consortiums also. So, yeah, there was a channel that I was specifically thinking of, but I'm not finding it. But there's synthetic biology and biotechnology conferences also. So there's a bunch of them. Yeah, you can find it later, I guess.
Yeah, because what I know with Neuralink, they were talking about how they believe with it they can uh, reanimate the body. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, so somebody who can't walk's gonna walk again.
Mm.
Somebody who can't see can see again. I'm like, this kind of gives me some false signs and wonders right here.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are some wonderful things they can do, but the problem is that a lot of they use that as the lure to get people interested in these kinds of technologies. But of course, really, what they're trying to do is implement control, right? This is the way they can have some sort of remote brain infrastructure if people opt into it. And of course, most of it is being done under the guise of helping people who are like disabled, spinal cord injuries. And some of that stuff really is incredible. I mean, I'm not saying there's not really wonderful things they can do to help people. But if they get a bunch of people like, I mean, in Sweden, a bunch of people have chosen to opt in, and then they can use that to, it becomes like an episode of Black Mirror. It's like use your grain or whatever. You can use it as your digital ID. They have all your biometric data. You can use it as currency. They can implement a whole social credit. I mean, they have complete control if you enter into some sort of interface like that.
Sounds like Mark of the Beast stuff.
It does, right? Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like.
And if it reanimates and heals people, oh, you give the Antichrist that kind of technology, and people will be taking it and worshiping.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
that's my concern with it. That's not to say that there aren't really great things that can be done and really miraculous things. I mean, they do have technology that can help blind people see uh, using these like VR type headsets. And
oh, kind of like Geordie LaForge in Star Trek: Next Generation.
I guess.
Had that he had a visor on the because he was blind, the character. So Starfleet designed a visor for him to see.
Yeah, it would be very much like that. And they do have technology like that, which is, I mean, that is actually incredible.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm
Oh
not,
yeah,
I'm not opposed to helping people. My
I
concern
agree.
it becomes, a vehicle for implementing technocracy. That's my concern.
Yeah, yeah, which is tyranny.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, because was it there's those clips of guys who have lost limbs, don't have their arms or legs anymore, whether it's through like battle or born that way. And with Neuralink, they're actually able to play Call of Duty. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, I know that there's definitely, like I said, there's definitely some positive things that can be done using these technologies. My concern is that they're there's also a lot of focus on doing things that are very dystopian with these technologies.
Right. Yeah, because it kind of makes you wonder, like the whole. I don't know if you ever saw the film Fahrenheit 451.
Yes.
It's like borderline. Hey, social credit.
Mm,
Hey, you need to get them thumbs ups on
yeah.
your social media platform.
Right.
Control the information.
Yep. Exactly. So that doesn't sound good to me.
No,
So,
it does not. No,
no.
yeah, because they were burning the books in that. So,
Yes. Exactly.
and the Bible you're going to get is the state issued copy of the Bible. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, that sounds like China.
Not sounding good to me. No.
Yeah, because was it 2019? I worked for a company out of Indianapolis called Jets, and
Mhm.
they install coin op laundry equipment at like laundromats and apartment complexes and whatnot. And about my second month in, they all started putting in the cameras
Mhm.
that that also monitor how fast you're driving.
Right.
So if you hit a certain, you go past the speed limit, a certain speed limit, you get a call from the manager like, "Oh, hey, how did you know I was speeding?" "Oh, the camera told us." And I'm watching them put in the cameras, and I said, "Hey, what kind of CCP crap is this?" They're like, "Oh, it's not what you think. It's for insurance." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I said. Your guys are saving money through surveillance. You
Mhm.
get that good credit, the better you drive." Which, hey, driving better and safer is not a bad thing,
Right.
but this is Big Brother watching you.
Yes. Yeah.
Which that's the vibe I get from when I watched your interview with Owen about AI.gov. I'm like, yeah, Big Brother wants you.
Harrison. Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
and now with the whole Genius Act getting passed, I'm like, it's not looking good.
This is not looking good. I just did an episode. It's up on my Substack. It will be available in a few days for the rest of my audience, but right now you can get it on my Substack, and and I have part of it up on my YouTube as well. I do, partial videos there, but with Aaron Day and Craig Lenkowicz, and we're talking about tokenization and warning people about the Genius Act, Stable Act, and Clarity Act. But really, that's where I think this is like the end of the road. Like, it's really urgent that people understand what this agenda is, where it's leading, and push back against it. The fact that they put the Genius Act forward today is really, really bad news. This is not good. This is,
Yeah,
and people have this illusion that it's going to be different than central bank digital currency. It's going to be just as tyrannical.
yeah, because was it? I heard it was sent back to him for them to change the wording in it
Hmm.
because Trump didn't like the fact that it actually had the words centralized banking digital currency. He's like, we need to change the wording on it because I campaigned against that. If you can rephrase what that is,
Right.
bring it back to me. And which kind of brings back the memories of what happened with HR 6395. Hey, it got vetoed. Let's rewrite it so it's not so obvious and reintroduce the bill.
Yep. That's exactly right. Yeah, it's very concerning. This is I'm not sure how we yeah, how we're gonna come back from this, but
Yeah,
there's
because
major pushback.
this is the question I have because I'm not the biggest crypto guy. I dabbled in it a little bit and became concerned about it. So I'm like, I'm selling all of it. I want nothing to do with cryptocurrency anymore. I'm cashing out. And so I don't. So what I was reading the other day though was like this is a stable coin. It's not like Bitcoin, and that supposedly
Well,
wouldn't be
even
bad.
Bitcoin is not like Bitcoin anymore, but
Yeah, exactly.
no.
But from what I was gathering, it's like stablecoin is backed by something, whether it's fiat currency, silver, gold.
Right.
But I'm like, well, if it's backed by fiat currency, then it's
Like
still
there's
not backed by anything. It's faith.
Tether.
Like fiat,
The Tether is one of the biggest, most known stable coins, and it's backed by the dollar. So yeah.
right? Yeah,
Hmm.
because the word fiat itself is the Latin word for faith.
Hmm. Yeah. Sure.
So so when I was reading that, I'm like, so we're gonna put faith into something that's you can't even hold it, you can't even exchange it. Is this like in the coal miner days when you got the your boss paid you the tokens and the only store you can use it in was the store owned by your boss?
The biggest concern is it's programmable money. I mean that's really the bottom line.
Right.
Programmable money. This is a way that they can implement the surveillance state and technocracy. That's the bottom line, and it's really very concerning.
Yeah, because was it can't remember it was when Biden was in office and all the credit card companies started rallying together like, hey, if you purchase a firearm with your debit credit card, we will be informing the FBI of your firearm purchase. I'm like, why are you even doing that? They have to call the FBI just to get me approved to buy the firearm. So now my credit card's going to let them know I just bought this as well. I'm like, well, time to hit the ATM machine if I want to go buy a firearm now.
Right.
Cash only for the guns.
Right. Yeah.
Which that's what I'm getting from the whole digital currency, which Ron DeSantis went hard on as governor of Florida.
Huh.
Which I mean, he was exposing that stuff left and right. It's like, no, 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 we're not going to have this in Florida.
It's great. I'm glad.
So, which I like Ron DeSantis. I think he's a great guy. Uh, and that's one of the things, calling out ESG, calling out centralized banking, digital currency. I'm like, fight, dude, fight, keep fighting that stuff. And so,
Yeah, those
with the
things we fought.
with this Genius Act, all purchases are probably going to be monitored.
Well, most purchases are monitored through credit
Right.
cards. Yeah, that was the precursor to lay the groundwork. Yeah,
That's why cash is king.
cash is king. Cash
Well,
is.
I don't know if you have any more time. If
I have a little
you
bit
got
more.
others.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have what else have you recently discovered about this subject? Like, is there how bad is it really getting?
About which subject? The technocracy subject?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's really bad. I don't know if you had a chance to
Oh,
read my recent article. I mean, I kind of lay this all out. Um, yeah, and it's definitely really bad. Um, so my article on the Phoenix conspiracy.
yeah. I haven't read it yet. I saw that you posted about it.
Okay. Yes, I did do a thread post. Um, yes, I did a show. I mean, a thread. I've done several shows on it actually, also. Um, but I also let me see if I can find the thread because that might be quicker to go through. But I also have my article, which is it's pretty extensive. It's like 12,000 words. So it's a pretty long, very comprehensive piece with like a million links in it. But the basic central thesis of this is that I'm looking at these two movements that look like they're dialectical in nature, and there's the dark enlightenment, which a lot of people are very familiar with now because the Trump administration has been very influenced by a lot of these ideas from the dark enlightenment. And then there is on the other side, I call it the left and right hand path. So you have the Dark Enlightenment, which is operating through the right hand path, which is kind of patriarchal, autocratic, disciplinarian. Kind of archetypes. And then you have the left hand path, which is this game B, which operates through Divine Mother, Gaia worship, more theosophical and
Yeah.
but ultimately it's scientific socialism. So both of them end up in technocracy. And the kind of synthesis of the two that bridges the gap is this concept of network states. Network states is a book that Balaji Srinivasan had wrote, and it was inspired by Peter Thiel's concept of seasteading, which he injected $1.7 million into this notion of seasteading, which is actually quite reminiscent of Ghislaine Maxwell's Terramar, so kind of topical today. But this concept of seasteading was having these city states that would be on international water, so they're outside of national laws, right? And it didn't really take off. And so Balaji developed his concept of network states that was inspired by the seasteading. And in his book, he has a chapter dedicated to seasteading. But the nation states essentially are this dissolution of geographical nation states in favor of cyber ideological network states. And that's kind of the overarching. Both of them are essentially advocating network states, and which means you have to phoenix the republic. You would have a dissolution of the geographical nation state in favor of this. The Dark Enlightenment calls it Sov Corp or Gov Corp. Curtis Yarvin calls it Sov Corp. Nick Land calls it Gov Corp. And then the game B has a concept called civium, where you exit the cities, but you're using this concept of like a network state where you have, the cloud connection. You have some sort of a internet kind of connection to this civium project. So I see this as very much the kind of Hegelian left-right path of what will ultimately end up in a technocracy. And then these network states. And then I added in the article, I talk about the Theobro component, because these two are really more like philosophical and political type movements. But the Theobros add the divine mandate to it, if you will,
Right.
help convince people that somehow this is all sacrosanct. And so
I
that's
see.
the cliff notes of it. I mean, it's a very extensive article. I can certainly outline things much more detail, but where it looks like it's heading, and I call it the Phoenix conspiracy, because it's this concept of that you have to tear down to to rise up from the ashes. Like Biden talked about tearing down so we can build back.
Build back better. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The Great
It's
Reset.
like, don't you have to tear stuff down to build back up?
Yes. So like the Great Reset, we have to,
Yep.
tear it down
Yep.
so that we can reset. This is this concept of the phoenix bird, which I go through the mythological, references to the phoenix throughout history, some of the ancient inferences, and then I talk about some of the more modern phoenix examples. Like we had Operation Phoenix from Tavistock. This is where in World War II there was the restructuring of Tavistock Clinic. They got an injection from the Rockefeller Foundation. There were others, but primarily the Rockefeller Foundation, that enabled them to create what was called Tavistock Institute of Human Relations. So Tavistock Clinic and the Institute work together, but they are separate, and they serve separate functions. So the restructuring came out of this Operation Phoenix, which was led by Wilfred Bion and Eric Trist, and they were taking a lot of the ideas that they had implemented through working with the British intelligence in World War II, creating the War Office selection boards, which was predicated on Bion's notion of leaderless groups. and they restructured. That's kind of the first one. It was out of the ashes of World War II, if you will, that they restructured, and up came, rose the phoenix of Tavistock Institute of Human Relations. Then, of course, we've got the CIA's Operation Phoenix, right, where they
Right.
idea of you have to burn down communism in order to build the West, and that's the idea of you have to burn the village to build the village in Vietnam. And then we've got some of the more modern references where I actually found out about. This Game B because of Brett Weinstein. He had done a speech at Rescue the Republic where he ends the speech. He kept talking about the West. I thought that was a little odd because it's a event focused on the Republic, and that's very specific. I mean, yes,
Right.
we're a byproduct of Western civilization, and they're doing everything possible to deracinate us from our roots. And I don't support
Right.
that, but the Republic is very specific. We're a constitutional republic. We're not
That's right. That's right.
West, right? And so I thought that was a little bit odd. But then he ends the speech with something incredibly odd. He says, "We need to phoenix the Republic." And I said, "Oh my goodness, what on earth is he talking about? We have to phoenix the Republic." And so I started doing a little bit more investigation. Of course, I remember he's part of the whole intellectual dark web. Once I started learning about Game B, I had this idea that looks like the intellectual dark web was an influence operation for Game B. And I've actually found there's an article from Manifest Nirvana. Andrew Cohen talks about, he didn't use the term influence operation, so just to clarify that those are my words, not his, but
Right.
he does say that the intellectual dark web seeded the ground for the audience acquiescence to the ideas of Game B, to these concepts. So essentially he admits that it was an influence operation for Game B. And then we have, of course, it was a year earlier. There was the 2023 IMP, so it's the Independent Movement event that Christopher Life was doing. And I have a picture in my article where they say independence rising above the ashes of failing systems, and they have the phoenix. And I can't find the video, but Brett Weinstein was a keynote speaker in 2023, and the rumor is, but I can't find the video, so I don't know. But the rumor is that the title of it was "Self Governance and Phoenixing the Republic." Now, it would make sense to me that he kind of beta tested that theme before a year later in 2024 doing the Rescue the Republic speech, but I can't confirm that. I don't know, but that's what I've heard from people who
And that's Eric Weinstein's brother, right?
Yes. So now Eric Weinstein's actually kind of the one. Jordan Hall, who's another co-founder of Game B, calls Eric Weinstein the rabbi of Game B. He's the one who introduced Eric and Jordan Hall. Brett and Jordan Hall. They met at the Perimeter Institute, where Eric was giving a speech around, I don't know if it was 2007, 2008. It must have been 2008. It was right 2008 or 2009, right around the time of the financial crisis, and that's what his speech was on. And it was at the Perimeter Institute, and so Jordan Hall had met both the Weinstein brothers there, and then I guess he said that it was like a few more meetings, and it wasn't until the Stanton meetings that Jim Rutt, who's another co-founder of Game B, was hosting, trying to create this emancipation party. And at that meeting, it took a few meetings, but that Jordan and Brett really got to talking, and a lot of these Game B concepts started to spawn. The Emancipation Party didn't take off. Jim Rutt said mostly because they couldn't get the millennials on board. He said the boomers were all in, that Gen X, maybe he could corral them, but he said the millennials love the concepts, like they love the platform of the party, but they were such anarchists that the concept of a political movement, a political party, was an anathema to them. So he said we can't really do a political movement without the millennials. So they kind of trashed that idea. But it was Thor Mueller, who was part of these Stanton meetings, who said keep the concept of Game B for branding. And so they did. They started to move forward with this idea of creating a new operating system for civilization. And it really is essentially scientific socialism. So that's kind of operating through the left-hand path. A lot of these people are disciples of like Barbara Marx Hubbard, who's an intellectual disciple of Teilhard de Chardin, sorry, Chardin's vision of creating a noosphere. They call it collective intelligence in Game B. But that's, and then you've got this working through the right hand path that's very much surrounding Trump, which is this, neo reactionary movement, otherwise known as the Dark Enlightenment. We had Elon Musk signaling Dark MAGA with that hat that he was wearing. And this is very much, I think, a nod to Curtis Yarvin's, mention of the dark elves versus the higher elves. And he talks about how the dark elves have to seduce the higher elves. So this sounds to me like dark MAGA has got to seduce the MAGA elite. And I think that's very much what we're seeing. And now we're seeing Elon Musk talk about his American Party. And
Yeah, yeah.
and who did he consult for his American Party? He's got the support of Andrew Yang, and I've got an article, my article, The Technological Age of Aquarius, a Third Way Dream or Digital Dystopia. You can look that up. I talk a lot about these concepts in that article on my Substack. Andrew Yang's party, he's a total technocrat, and he says that the slogan,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
right? It's not left, it's not right, it's forward. And so very progressive, definitely a technocrat. And now Elon has consulted with Curtis Yarvin on his American Party and launching that. And he's saying he really wants to launch it before the midterms. So all of this, and meanwhile, Operation Phoenix is underway, which is also a Christopher Life, the United Independents. Remember the United Independents, Brock Pierce was also very much involved in that. And they're talking about creating something literally called Operation Phoenix, where they want to flood Congress in 2026 with quote unquote independence. But it's all centered around a technocratic agenda where they want things like blockchain voting and, a lot of like technocratic kind of initiatives. So yeah, so that's this article. I do really sum up a lot of these ideas and these concepts, but essentially it's we're if there's not some major shakeup, I talk about tokenization in this article as well. And if there's not some major shakeup and pushback, we're really heading for a phoenixing of the republic and ushering in through third way politics, which don't forget third way politics. They talk about consolidating the radical center. What did Elon Musk say? We need a center party, right? The 80% center.
Right.
Third way politics, which comes straight out of the Fabian socialists, right? Fabian society. Anthony Giddens wrote a book called Third Way Politics, and he talks about how the radical center is always left of center. So it's not this, moderate kind of a center party. That's not what they're talking about. But ultimately, really, where this is heading is towards the technocracy. They're using third way politics to steer us into a technocracy under the guise that we
Yeah,
need to
because
get beyond the two-party illusion. Is people have recognized that
right.
the system is flawed. They use Hegelian dialectics, as you said, like a wrestling match, and a lot of people are aware that that's kind of how this works and that it's very problematic. Even George Washington warned us against the two-party system. He said it would be a loophole for foreign entanglement, for foreign entanglements, domestic and foreign. He didn't use the term Hegelian dialectic, but that's essentially what he was referencing. And so certainly we know that it's problematic. However, the solution is not to use third way politics to usher us into a technocracy.
Right. Yeah, because when you brought up the Dark Enlightenment, where one side is the patriarchal side and the other, the left leaning, is the divine feminine. All my occult signals were going off. I'm like, man,
B operates through the Divine Mother. They're the more left leaning. They're the intellectual dark web, kind of adjacent to like Jordan Peterson, Jonathan Bernanke, kind of left of that. But they interact. They do dialogos with Jordan Peterson, Jonathan Bernanke, Ian Gilchrist, all of those guys. But it's a pretty big, and it's not a monolith, but Game B is a pretty big, range of people and thinkers and ideas, and that's kind of, but they all are focused on a lot of them are like tied to UN or UN acolytes. Zach Stein was inducted into the Club of Rome last year. Nora Basin, who was involved in creating the Initiation to Game B film. She's the daughter of Gregory Basin and Margaret Mead, and she's a member of the Club of Rome. But they're very focused on the Gaia religion, that we need to, save the planet through green solutions, and we're going to use technology to do it. So this is, the Divine Mother Gaia worship left-leaning path, whereas the Dark Enlightenment operates through the right-hand path, which is much more the patriarchal, kind of like a Christian muscular energy, kind of autocratic, authoritarian. Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of in Hinduism, Kundalini, which Kundalini means coiled serpent. And
Mm-hmm.
then Eastern mysticism and New Age teaches that, oh, well, the serpent is the divine feminine
Yes.
that starts in your pelvis and reaches to your third eye, your crown, and
Yeah.
now you know the occult truth.
Yes. So I've covered the New Age movement quite extensively. I wrote an article also on the Centennial Conclave. Another pretty long article, but it's that's Alice Bailey's vision that in 2025 we would see the externalization of the hierarchy. And we did have the World Invocation Day this year, was during the blood moon. And I outlined kind of how all of these UN and globalist type of movements were occurring right during that time in June. We saw the Bilderberg meetings were during that time.
Right.
But this is the vision that she has, that we're going to see an externalization of the hierarchy, which is when these beings, you can call them spirits, demons, whatnot, these interdimensional beings are going to reveal themselves to humans and start interacting and make themselves much more known during this. And she predicts that 2025 would be the time when we would see this, and that we would potentially see the Lord Maitreya, right? So the Christ, she calls it the Christ, would return. And this is not Jesus Christ, but it's possibly Antichrist, but this is
Right.
of like, a world teacher who she says is no different than Buddha or Krishna or, some sort of a world
The
teacher.
star child, yeah.
Right. Star children are the Arcturians, right? They have the star.
Right. Right, yeah. Wow. So does Aleister Crowley have some kind of influence on where this stuff comes from? Like, does he play a part in this, or
In what? what
it,
specifically?
like, because the more we talk about this, it seems like a cult New Age has an influence
So I
and
would,
kind of
yeah. So
on technocracy. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that the New Age spiritualists tend to be much more influential on the Game B part of the movements. I think that the Dark Enlightenment, the right hand path, would be much more influenced by like an Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley was very influential on people like Alexander Dugin, who do advocate for these kind of concepts that are aligned with Dark Enlightenment, monarchical, theocratic types of views. So Aleister Crowley, I think, is very much influential on more of the right hand path. That's not to say they don't have overlap; they absolutely do. And
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
his
Because was it the?
passion, it's really through the dialectic.
Because I can't remember what it's called, but it's and there's old artwork of the androgynous being who is one person, but one side has the male face.
The Baphomet. Yeah, so the Baphomet that Elon Musk dressed up as for Halloween. That's an androgynous being, yeah.
Let me think. See if I can pull up this artwork. Androgynous beings. Because was it in some of the Gnostics it talked about
I mean, there
that the
was
God of the Old Testament.
there have been many. I mean, there was Aphrodite, hermaphroditus, right? That's where we get that term. Hermaphrodite comes from hermaphroditus, which was a merging of like Apollo, I think it was, and no, it was yeah, Aphrodite. Sorry, Aphrodite and Hermes.
Yeah, the image I'm referring to is there's this person, one body, the rebus, and in one hand's the compass, the other hand's the square. There's a dragon wrapping around a globe, and they're in this womb egg shaped thing.
Oh, I mean, the
The
Sphinx,
metaphysical.
a lion and human. I don't know.
Here, let me see if I can share this real quick.
Okay.
That is not what I wanted. This image right here. I don't know if you're able to see that or not.
I'm not seeing anything.
Oh, come on. Oh, that's why. Okay. Are you able to see this now in
Yeah,
the studio?
I am. I mean, it's a little bit small for me, so I can't fully make it out. But um, yeah, I'm not sure what that is. It looks
Yeah.
familiar.
So this is the rebus. It's
Okay.
one body, the masculine head, the feminine,
Okay.
compass, square, your six pointed stars.
All right.
This is the sun, the moon. So father, mother, child. So this is Ice, Horus. Wait, who's the father of Horus? So we have father, mother, child, and then this is the great serpent that encompasses the globe.
Okay.
This is in some Gnostic teachings they say this is the demiurge,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
and that this is the
The
this is
Demiurge is supposed to be an androgynous, like male female merged figure.
yes,
Yeah. And that's why a lot of the occult, in the New Age, they worship that merging, right? That this is part of the whole, like Skittles cult, the LGBTQ, because ultimately, to blur to obliterate the distinctions of male female and become one is actually to ascend
right.
to the divine. That's their belief. So that's part of why they're pushing that.
The Skittles cult. That was
The rainbow.
that just made
They took
that just made my day.
the rainbow. I don't want to give them the rainbow. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
that's a sign of a covenant.
Yeah, they stole it. I'm on a mission to reclaim the rainbow. That was God's rainbow.
Yeah, that's the real great reset right there. Is
Yeah,
what that's about.
terrible.
Not you will own nothing and be happy. It was
Oh, but
I'm starting the human race over.
yeah, but you will own nothing to be happy. That is the technocratic agenda. That is exactly where they're
Yeah,
and
and
everything
I think
done through energy credits, right? So this tokenization, where they're headed with everything, the tokenization is essentially this energy credit system. And what do we see coming out of the UN, where they want carbon taxing of everything, carbon credits? It's the same thing. They just
right.
energy credits, but it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
So
because was it Yuval Noah Harari,
mhm,
who is really close with Klaus Schwab, who
mhm.
was saying that the future of spirituality and immortality will come out of Silicon Valley.
Yeah, didn't he say that? Yep. Kind of looking a little prescient there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
I got in trouble for talking about him a lot too.
yeah, they were going after people pretty hard in 2020 and 2021. I am now on my sixth YouTube channel, so I relate.
Yeah, just this month, I finally decided to create a new channel on YouTube. But my strategy is, hey, I'll do part of the show on
That's
4
what
different
I do.
platforms,
Yeah.
and like, hey, now we're about to go hard in the paint, so the show is ending on this platform because I still don't trust it, and I refuse to put content, any videos on Twitter. Like, I don't trust it. I don't care what you call it; it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I just saw today.
I look at it a little differently. All of the platforms have some sort of a compromise position that they're all part of the system. I don't think the censorship is as intense on anything right now. And I think that's
Right,
their strategy. They need to collect the data. So I think they've relinquished some of that censorship. I also think they need to build credibility. So a lot of people need to feel like they can trust these platforms. And in order for them to do the data mining, they need us to trust them. So I think right now the censorship is actually pretty low. I'm not saying it's gone. There's plenty of censorship still, plenty. I just
right.
a little bit more deceptive in how they execute the censorship, particularly in America. So I know these
Yeah.
farms operate, all over the world. I mean, Rumble, what we're on, is a Canadian company. So,
Yes,
yeah,
this is true.
Tether just invested like 700 and something $1 million into it. So,
Yeah, was I think was it one of the wasn't isn't Dan Bongino like a shareholder of it as well? I
yeah,
can't quite remember.
I am less concerned about him as I am a Tether. Tether's
Right.
and I don't think Bongino owns nearly as many shares. Yeah, let me see. What was the Tether Rumble deal? I think it was 775 million. Yeah. So
That's crazy.
they purchased 103.333333 shares of Rumble. That's funny. No signaling there.
Yeah. See, and that thing what I was mentioned to you the other day in the messages is like, hey, I don't know what's going on, and I did hear back from Rumble tech support, so I finally I emailed them like, hey, something weird's going on, because when I start Sunday, I was trying to go back down memory lane. That's I hit a point where like, all right, I'm not going to talk about this on YouTube or Facebook, so this is Rumble only conversation, and I started going down Pizza Gate again. I'm like, man, there's some weird stuff. Should we go down this road and talk about this again? And kind of like what Owen says, like, good luck finding anything on it anymore. It's like the whole internet's been scrubbed about it.
Mm.
And I tried to share a video of him from Band.video, and the URL to it still reads from Mad Max World from this particular video
Mm.
about him uh, covering a school in Connecticut, I believe, who
Mm.
was teaching the students to use a code of
Mm.
pizza toppings about what sexual acts to refer to.
Oh boy.
And it took me forever to get it to share, because every time I point the arrow in the studio to the tab, it
Right.
would automatically like do start going down by itself without me moving the mouse. I'm like, this is weird. And so I finally got it where it looked like it was sharing.
Mm-hmm.
And I step away so the viewers can watch the live stream while I go get another drink or something, give myself a break while they watch that content. And when I get back, it's not over yet. It ends, and I go to turn off the share screen,
Mm.
And not only it was already turned off, my camera was turned off, my microphone was turned off.
Mm. Wow, that's
So
crazy.
and then yesterday was live streaming and started going after Jared Kushner
Mm.
and was and before that it was it the when Israel striked Iran. I went to the Jerusalem Post, like, hey, let's see what their media is saying, and I found an article in there. I'm like, hey guys, I don't know if I believe this or not, but this is an interesting title. Let's check it out. And it's Iran accusing Israel of using occult practices
Mm.
to in the 12-day war, and they're accusing Israel of dropping tokens that had symbols on it and were in contact with the jinn. I'm like, guys, I don't know if it's real. I mean, we do like some third eye spy stuff, so it's not that far fetched. But talking to genies and cutting deals with them, I don't know. I mean, anything's possible, but it's a little far fetched. And I couldn't even. I started reading the first sentence in the article, and you go back and watch the replay, and you'll see me start reading the article. I get through like the first sentence in the first paragraph, and it cuts to the Rumble logo. And I don't know it's doing that. I have to, if I'm reading the article, I can't see what's going on in the studio
Mhm.
because I'm in the tab reading.
Mm.
And it is as if somebody else was in the studio and turned off my microphone and my camera. And so yesterday, I'm like, hey, I'm going to throw a curveball. I'm going to do a different time for the live stream. We're going to do it at 10 a.m. And as soon as I start talking about Jared Kushner, I'm reading this article. I'm like, let's see what's going on in the studio. And as I enter the studio, I'm seeing as if somebody is turning off the camera, turning off the microphone
Wow.
as I'm arriving in the studio. So it's only for like 10 seconds, and then I'm back on. I'm like, guys, it just happened again. And I watched it happen this time. And that's when I emailed Rumble. I'm like, what's going on? So is it Rumble doing it? I don't know.
Mm.
But you get talking about certain things, and they try to get into your own stuff and shut you off. I'm like, this is no good.
Mm.
It could be an AI that's getting in my stuff and shutting it off. I don't know who's doing it.
Mm.
But they gave me a free month of Rumble Premium, so
Oh, nice. You won out of the deal, so
yeah, like sold. Yeah, free month.
you're
I,
you're
I'm
up.
too cheap to do away with the ad-free stuff.
Right. Well, so it looks like you got the better end of that deal. So
But hopefully,
yeah.
so they did contact me today, but all they asked was, hey, like, what's your operating system? What do you do? What are your tabs on?
Yeah.
And so
But
I'm low budget punk rock,
right.
so all my stuff's through Chromebook,
Mm.
and so I don't know what's going on. So I told them that. So maybe they can give me better information on it. But I'm like, the information war hasn't stopped. It just
No.
they're stepping back, gathering data to feed the AI.
Yeah, I think it's just much more sophisticated. I mean, fifth generation warfare is using. You should check out my algorithmic oracle article, book. When it's ready, you can buy the book. But yeah, it's that's really what I talk about is how they use this data in order to manufacture consensus and steer us towards, various viewpoints that they want us to have and make decisions. It's essentially it's psychological warfare, and I outline how they do that using these, using the algorithms and the cybernetic feedback loops.
Yeah, because I saw it today. A Christian woman on YouTube was putting out a video that Elon Musk is starting to censor some Christian stuff on X.
Hmm.
I'm
Elon
like,
Elon censor. I wouldn't say it's Elon. I mean, Elon's like just a He doesn't really fully own X anymore.
Yeah. He's the public face.
Yeah, exactly, he's the figurehead. But yeah, I mean, X has been censoring people since the beginning. It's just not as much censorship as when it was under Jack Dorsey.
Right.
That's part of the operation, right? Is it builds that credibility, and then they can censor certain things, and yeah. So
Yeah, this has been very fascinating. The whole because it's telling me that because was it Nazi Germany had the Vril Society,
hmm
and they were using a medium to contact entities, demons, whatever, and that's how they were getting the designs for their experimental aircrafts, which look like flying saucers and whatnot.
hmm
And so it was an episode of was it Ancient Aliens that was on History Channel that talked about how was it Steve Jobs was in India and was meditating, and an entity came to him and told him how to come about designing the first PC. I'm like, where are these guys? Who's this entity that's talking to him? To hey, this is how you build UFOs. This is how you build computers.
hmm
Like who is this?
they do a lot of channeling. Yeah, the AI
Yeah,
World Society channeled from the future, like 2045, telling us why we need the AI World Society, and we made such a good choice to have it. You can find the letter that they have it up on their site, where it's a letter from the future.
really.
hmm Yeah,
That's creepy.
I know. Oh,
That's kind of cult like itself.
it is. AI World Society. I'll see if I can find it for you. Um, it's you see. Oh yeah, here it is. AI World Society, Vint Surf essay for the United Nations 2045 project. It is on the AIWorldSociety.net. It's Vint Cerf's essay for the United Nations 2045 project, February 2020. An unexpected message from the future. I was recently experimenting with some extremely high frequency receivers in the 125 GHz band when I detected an unexpected but strong and repeated signal. I recorded it, and after a considerable effort using sophisticated machine learning tools, I was able to decode the signal. It appears to have come from the future by a means unknown. A message reads, to you who have successfully received and decoded this message, greetings. We are sending this message back in time from 2045 in the hope that its recipients will recognize the profound importance of the period from 2020 to our present. We are at the cusp of the middle of the 21st century. The past 25 years have been critical to our survival as a society and as a species, for it was in 2020 that it was finally recognized that our only hope was to focus intensely and resolutely on the development of the new technologies to cope with the crisis of our global warming and its side effects. Information
Holy cow!
Information processing, data sciences, machine learning, and more general artificial intelligence have all had a role to play in containing the consequences of the positive feedback loop of our carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases that have run rampant since the dawn of the 19th century. A major effort to deploy dense and widespread sensor systems on land, on sea, and in space provided the raw data we needed to understand, model, analyze, and ultimately counter some of the worst side effects of climate change. Thanks to the rapid deployment of the internet, using low Earth orbiting satellites, escalating submarine cable connection, and widespread radio connectivity. A global environmental sensing system was set up thanks to the agreements put in motion by the UN Secretary General's prescient invitation for the nations of the world to make digital cooperation a reality. Agreements were reached on standards for information sharing, massive data, metadata accumulation, and new analytic tools, some based on sophistication machine learning methods. We were able to model in far more detail than before the interactions of the atmosphere, the ocean, and effects of our cloud cover to predict climate and weather conditions more precisely. Sophisticated genetic modeling allowed botanists to develop new species able to survive and thrive in warmer, drier climates and in saltier water conditions. Ocean flora and fauna were introduced that were capable of living in the more acidic surface ocean layers near continental boundaries. A particularly important development came around 2030 with a breakthrough in energy storage technology, allowing electrical energy to be stored cheaply and efficiently and in vast quantities. Energy from the intermittent power sources, such as wind, solar, was harvested and stored for use when needed. Equally important, new designs for meltdown resistant nuclear reactors were finally approved and construction begun. These systems burned spent fuel from much older and less efficient nuclear power plants. In our time, the internet has become ubiquitous, accessible everywhere, and in copious capacity. Most access is wireless, although all such systems ultimately go to ground in form of optical fiber networks girdling the globe. Information is available in all languages and discoverable through fully accessible applications usable by everyone. We also have come to grips with the pernicious and toxic consequences of unbridled social media, recognizing the incentives for economic and societal harm, seemingly implicit in online environments, and the weakness of the technical information infrastructure on which we increasingly depended. Sorry. Cooperative regulatory guideline. This is the Global Digital Compact, by the way. Cooperative regulatory guidelines were agreed among the nations of the world and enforced through broadly adopted treaties. Global Digital Compact is basically just a censorship, contract. Knowing what is possible is 90% of the way to overcoming skepticism and uncertainty. We here in the future commend you of our path for your brave and determined initiatives to reinvent the world for your future descendants. Please know that the effort has been worth it.
Holy cow.
Yep. Letter from the future. An unexpected message from the future is what it's called. Vince Cerf's essay for the United Nations 2045 project. 2045 is the AI World Society, and this is on AI.ws.net.
And when did they receive this message?
February 2nd, 2020.
Wow. When shit got weird.
Yeah, exactly. 2045 project.
Wow.
Well, yeah.
That's scary stuff.
Yeah, creepy.
Yeah, that's definitely World Economic Forum.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like the agenda.
Yeah, that is the agenda. It's all in there. I mean, they're basically saying like the Global Digital Compact, the Pact for the Future. That's all basically alluded to. They don't mention it, but of course the Sustainable Development Goals. That's all in there because we're saving the environment, the planet from global warming now. Um, Yeah, I mean, they basically, if you read between the lines, it's all in there. But of course, the AI world society, all this machine learning, artificial intelligence, that's what they're talking about. That's what's saving us.
Yeah, because was a couple of weeks ago I saw that was it Bobby Kennedy Jr. was talking about putting
The wearable,
yeah the
yeah.
wearable.
So
I'm like,
he said we need to all have wearables. So this is part of the Internet of Wearables, right? Which is connected to the Internet of Everything. I have an article. It's it's the path to mass surveillance. This is where I outline the different types of 15-minute cities, the under all these different names, but it's all the same. It's just different marketing for a different audience, but they're all essentially, pretty much the same thing. And it's all connected to, I lay out the Internet of Everything, the Internet of Wearable, the Internet of Behavior, the Internet of Bio-nano thing. All of these are going to be interconnected. And I warned people about this at the MAHA, which of course, who could argue with Make America Healthy Again? It's a great message. I definitely support
Right.
message behind that. However, I warned people that this is going to be a Trojan horse for executing the initiatives of AI precision medicine. You can find Obama was doing this under the Brain Initiative, and he actually has a document. You can find it on the Obama White House archives. I posted it on Twitter before, and this is the AI precision medicine initiative that he was trying to roll out back then, and now we've got RFK saying. So I was very concerned that there's going to be a Trojan horse to roll that out, and then we've got Project Stargate, and then we have now he's talking about MABA. He says MAHA is really MABA, which is Make America Biotech Accelerate. And accelerationism, right? That's what I talked about in my article with Nick Land. Accelerationism, this philosophy of that capitalism is doomed for an apocalyptic event and it's going to implode, but we should speed it up. We should push it to its nth degree. We need to use technology to do that, and that's the philosophy of accelerationism. This is Nick Land's vision for the future. And now we've got RFK talking about how we need to make America biotech accelerate, and we all have to wear these wearables that will connect to the Internet of Everything. And interestingly enough, RFK was also tied in with the United Independence. His campaign manager was Charles Eisenstein, who is a Game B proponent, and was talking about sacred. He has a book on sacred economics, which is tied into tokenization, but from the spiritual angle. This is like donut economics, distributism, and now in Operation Phoenix, he's one of the leads for this Operation Phoenix, which is to flood Congress in 2026 with independents.
Wow. Which the independent will most likely take on the identity of Elon Musk American Party, won't they?
I think they're going to take on. It's very likely that will merge. I mean, Andrew Yang has been a big proponent of this United Independent movement, and now he's supporting Elon with the American Party. So I do see it moving towards technocracy, whether it ends up being Elon Musk or the United Independence is a bigger kind of umbrella. Christopher Life had the One Nation Party. He had this United Independence. So there's been many rebrands, but ultimately it's gearing us towards technocracy, but using third way politics.
Yeah, because was it Andrew Wang was a big proponent of universal basic income.
Yep, and that's technocracy, right? They called it
Yeah,
credit.
yeah. See, that's making me think it's your digital rations. Here's your portion.
That's tokenization.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be in a Black Mirror episode where we'll be on our bikes powering the crypto mining.
And see that the whole wearable of Bobby Kennedy Jr. has me thinking. I've never actually read the book 1984, but in the film, like, oh brother, have you done your calisthenics this morning?
Right, exactly.
Which not saying calisthenics is bad. It's just Big Brother sees that you're not stretching.
Yeah, I love calisthenics, but I don't want calisthenics powering the Internet of Everything with 6G technology. So
yeah, because a lot of it seems to me like, because with artificial intelligence, the more data it consumes, like analogy as data is food for the AI, the better its operation is. And so the more data we can collect, whether we have you wearing it or you being the data, the better we can make this thing operate.
Yep. Yeah.
It's
Yep.
insane.
I know. It's dystopian. It's very dystopian.
Yeah.
And if you look at the Technocrat magazine, 1937, they say that the definition of technocracy is social engineering, and they say the purpose of the data collection is and surveillance is for control. So that's straight out of horse's mouth, going back almost a century.
Now, didn't Elon's grandfather have something to do with that magazine?
He was the head of Technocracy Inc. in Canada in
Yeah, yeah.
1936 to 1941. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And, people will argue that his grandfather passed away when he was young and, so he wasn't an influence, but that's not true. He was very influential on Elon and he was very aware of the ideas of his grandfather, Josh Hadelman. His mother is actually an occultist, so pretty overtly.
Oh, it's obvious. Yeah. I can't remember the woman's name. There's a woman on YouTube who claims she used to be Elon's nanny when
Oh,
he was
yeah.
and she asked his mother, "Hey, is Elon the Antichrist?" And according to her, Elon's mother said no, but he's going to present the mark to him.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen that, but that's crazy. All right. Well, may you live in interesting times, all right? So
Right,
I think we got
right.
so yeah. Um well, I should
That is crazy.
crazy. I should probably wrap up soon. I have 3 today. So I
Okay, so
yeah.
before you leave, if you want to tell the viewers where they can find your content, and when it, so the thing you're talking about, the writing, the article that's pretty much becoming a book now, is that, are you in the process of publishing it? Are you still writing? Like, what's the,
Well, I'm in the process of 3 books, but the algorithmic
okay,
article that I've referenced is I'm going to add a section to it that won't be available in the Substack, but it is already done. I just have to format it so I can publish it on Amazon so that people can buy a physical copy. But
right,
if they want to read it just like on a screen, it is available actually for free on my Substack currently. It is long. When I tried to format it to make it into a book so that I could put it up on Amazon, it came to 120 pages, and I am adding a few more pages. I have another section that I'm going to be adding into it. But but if they want to read it now, it's on my Substack, Algorithmic Oracle. I have a preview of my upcoming book on Hegel's dialectic. I call it Hegel's Dialectic, a Gnostic Jacob's Ladder, and a Machinery of Control. And that probably will not be out till September, maybe, sometime mid-September, because the formatting alone takes a very long time. And that one, I have a lot
right,
of chapters I want to add to it. So I have some more deep work to do on that book. But the preview of it, which is pretty long and very extensive, is available on my Substack as well. And then I am going to be co-authoring a book on very related to this article that I did called The Phoenix Conspiracy. And that will be coming out pretty soon. We're in the process of outlining it. We want to get that out soon so that it's ready for people to have before the midterm. So um, so those are 3 that
right.
I'm in the middle of, but you can find my writing on my Substack. It's Courtney Turner Substack. I spell my name like Courtenay, COURTENAYTURNER.com. You can also find my work at CourtneyTurner.com, COURTENAYTURNER.com, and that's where you can find all the various platforms of my podcast. I do have all of my podcasts go to Substack early access for my paid subscribers. They get it ad free on Substack. But then it goes out to all of my other platforms pretty shortly after. You will have ads, but it will be on all of my other video platforms and all my audio platforms. YouTube, I only do previews because, as we mentioned, I'm on my 6th channel there. So just
Right.
presence, but it goes straight from, they do get it early. It goes straight from Substack up to my YouTube, but it's not the full version. And so you can find all of my stuff there, all the ways to support me, all of my different social media. We connected through Twitter. I'm at Courtney Turner there. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time, and now I really want to go find that Brett Weinstein. And you said it was with Jordan Peterson
What was your question?
about the old the Phoenix Republic conference. Was it Brett Weinstein with Jordan Peterson or
Uh,
the
so
rescue?
Brett Weinstein spoke at the Rescue the Republic event, which was it was a lot of medical freedom kind of figures. I think Malone might have been there. There were a bunch of people in that medical freedom space. I can look it up. It's a Rescue the Republic, and that video is available. I mean, you can find that. Join.
Yeah, yeah. I
That
think I found it too.
Yeah, that's very public. I actually was with them prior in Geneva to do to protest the WHO, and they told me they were going to be doing an event in DC, and I'm actually I didn't end up going, which it might have been for the best, but yeah, RFK was there.
Probably.
RFK was there. I'm look on the list. Yeah, so it was Brett Weinstein. So it was founded by Brett Weinstein, Matt Toon, and Angela McArdle. They're the founders of this Rescue the Republic. But there were many speakers at this event. Let me see the lineup right here. So we've got Tulsi Gabbard, RFK, Matt Taibbi, Jordan Peterson was there. Russell Brand was there. Jack Posobiec, Mike Pence, Eric Bolling, Del Bigtree, Zuby, Senator Ron Johnson, Rob Schneider, Douglas McGregor, Robert Malone was there. Laura Logan, Chris Martinson, Walter Kern, Pierre Corey, Dr. Pierre Corey, Tennessee Jet, Heather Hayne. I think that's Brett Weinstein's wife. 5 Times August. They're actually awesome. I know them. They're pretty great. Really nice guys too. And they do great music. Brandon Straka, Jimmy Dore, Deepak, Struggle Jennings, Tiffany Justice, Gary Lynham and Human Garage, Mary Holland, The Defiant, Heather Wilson, Jacob Wells. So that's who they have as the lineup on the website. But you can find on Brett's YouTube also, you can see the speech that he did for Rescue the Republic. Now, for the United Independents, you can find the website. You have to go to the Wayback Machine. I can't find the speech anywhere, but it does have him listed as a keynote speaker. He was at 7 o'clock. I can't remember the date, but I want to say like August 6th or something. I don't know. But you can, or maybe it was April. I don't know. You can find that pretty easily on the Wayback Machine, but I can't find the video of that speech. So, but in my article, I have links to all the, Wayback of the United Independence stuff. So you can find it there.
I'll have to give that a look because I got to check that out. That piqued my curiosity.
Yeah, definitely go check it out. Yeah, don't take my word.
Sounds like because I'm not on Substack, but it sounds like I need to get on Substack and start
Yeah,
following your articles.
definitely get on Substack so you can get my articles. And as I was saying, I mean, all these portals are, Andreessen just bought Substack, so but it is where I'm posting quite a bit, and I have all of my pretty extensive articles. But I am working on making several of them into books, so that'll be an option for people as well.
That's awesome. I appreciate your time, Courtney. Thanks for coming on. God bless.
You too. Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. There you have it, guys. That was Courtney Turner. Appreciate her time for today's live stream. Man, it's been 2 hours and 33 minutes, going on 34 minutes. I'm probably going to wrap it up, guys. That was a interesting conversation. Had a blast. was glad I was able to get her on here. Maybe we can try to get some more guests on here, see what happens. Kind of got my eyes on another one, Sarah Adams. I wonder if she would come on the Truth or Odyssey to expose how the government doesn't want to tell you the truth about threats to the nation that they're ignoring. But yeah, that was a blast. I actually made time fly. I can't believe it's 6:35 Eastern Time. That's insane. The stuff I said that we might cover after my conversation with her, we might just lump a bunch of stuff together to do a Truth or Odyssey Sunday special, guys. I am the Truth Talker, Jacob Eggers. As always, you guys know, wow, she blew my mind with a lot of that information. I think we went deeper into some stuff than she did with Owen Schroyer. So that was fun. I enjoyed that greatly. I am the Truth Talker, Jacob Eggers. Trying to find that real quick. I am not a propaganda agent for Republicans or Democrats. I'm a disciple of the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Truth or Odyssey doesn't chase headlines, we decode them. Seeking truth in a world full of disinformation and indoctrination. I am signing out. Love you guys. God bless. You can't be either Neo or Agent Smith. Not only do you need your ammo, but that ammo is kind of pointless if you don't have the proper tools to use it with. So right now would actually be an excellent time to go to your local gun shops or your local Rule King. Head to that gun barn and start investing in some firearms and plenty of bullets. Right here is my Smith & Wesson M&P 15 Sport 2. Yeah, that sight's right on the money. So, tell you what, truthers, and my fellow Americans.
Go tell that long-time liar. Go and tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler again with a backbite. Tell them the God. Tell them the God. Cut them down. Goodness gracious, let me tell you the news. My head's been wet with the midnight dew. I've been down on a bended knee, talking to the man from Galilee. He spoke to me in a voice so sweet, I thought I heard the angels. He called my name, my heart stood still. John, do my will. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. You may throw your rock and hide your hand, working in the dark against a fellow man. But as sure as God made black or white, who's down in the dark will be brought to the light. You can run on for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Tell my God's gonna cut you down.